Hi everybody, I'm Ali Tawakoli and this is part 5 of our UML tutorial series. In this part we want to talk about object diagram. So if you're ready, let's get started. Alright, object diagram is a representation of a real life scenario, and unlike the class diagram, which is a blueprint, object diagram is a prototype. So, object diagram is a snapshot of the system at a particular moment. It's like taking a snap of a running train. You will find a static picture and can analyze everything more accurate. So, this is an example of an object diagram. So, but before I'll explain it more, let's see for whom an object diagram is. System designers and developers. The purpose? Making the prototype of a system understand object behavior and the relationship from practical perspective. Important elements, object, obviously, and link, which is object diagram, and without links is useless actually. The links, I mean these, which links each object together. A link shows association between objects and the label of the link indicates its purpose. Points to consider: consider only those instances which will cover the functionality. This is really important because we should draw only the objects that have important data and association to prevent unnecessary complexity. Because in a real world system we may have lots of objects, but in our object diagram we should only draw the objects that are participating in the functionality that we are going to show. So we don't draw all of the unnecessary objects, only draw the objects that are taking part in the functionality that you want to demonstrate. Steps to draw the object diagram. It's easy. The first step is to imagine all of the different scenarios that may happen based upon on the actor's decisions. Activity diagram helps us in this way. The decisions in the activity diagram actually make different scenarios because in object diagram we want to look at our system from a practical point of view, and it's not a blueprint, and we actually like to have a prototype. So those decisions in the activity diagram helps us to draw different scenarios in the object diagram. And the second step is to draw object diagram for each of those scenarios. Easy. Now let's take a little bit closer look at our object diagram example here. So this is a simple object diagram and is actually a snapshot from a real scenario that can happen in our system. So the object notation is like this, and inside of it we will write the initialized variable, the instance of the classroom class, which in our example is class, and then we will write its type, which is classroom, and then we will underline it. So the classroom instance contains these two instances and is associated with the action listener. And as you can see, we have also written the action performed operation of the action listener object. It doesn't mean that the action listener object has only this operation. No, it means that the action performed operation is the most important operation of the action listener class in the scenario that we like to demonstrate. Maybe in another object diagram that we are going to demonstrate another scenario and another process, we will write down another operation of the action listener. And let me also mention that the name or the identity of the action listener object is not specified because here in our example, action listener class is an anonymous class, which means that it has some static operation and attributes that can be used without the need of initializing the class itself. And these two objects are so simple. They have an association relationship with each other. And we could also name them, for example, teacher 1 or teacher 2 or student 1 or student 2. Or we could also use real names because maybe in our system we might have a teacher named John. So we could also say Mr. John, which is type is teacher, and we might have a student named Sarah. So we could say Sarah, which is type is a student. So that's it. That's all there is to object diagrams. So please don't forget to subscribe to be notified of our upcoming tutorials, and see you in the next part of the UML tutorial series. See you there.